There was evening and there was morning, a fifth day. The phrase, "there was evening and there was morning, a fifth day," is found in the book of Genesis in the Bible and is part of the creation narrative. Let's break down and explain this verse in detail in English. Evening and morning, similar to previous descriptions in the Genesis creation account, this phrase signifies the completion of a day's cycle. In the biblical context, a day is considered to begin in the evening and end in the morning. This structured pattern of evening and morning serves as a temporal marker, demarcating the passage of time and the conclusion of each day's creative activity. A fifth day, the mention of a fifth day, indicates the progression of the creation narrative to the fifth stage of God's creative work. Each day of creation represents a distinct phase in which God brings forth new aspects of the natural world. On the fifth day, according to the biblical account, God continues his creative activity by forming specific types of living creatures to inhabit the earth, skies, and waters. Rhythm of creation, the repetition of evening and morning at the conclusion of each day's description underscores the rhythmic and orderly nature of God's creative process. This structured framework provides a sense of continuity and progression in the narrative, highlighting the deliberate sequence of events leading to the completion of creation. It emphasizes the cyclical pattern of divine activity and underscores the regularity of God's work. Completion of creative activity, the phrase, "there was evening and there was morning, a fifth day," signifies the completion of the creative activity undertaken by God on the fifth day of creation. It indicates that God's work on this particular day, which involves the formation of specific living creatures, has reached its culmination. This completion marks a significant stage in the unfolding narrative of creation. God's evaluation, the absence of an explicit statement regarding God's evaluation of his work on the fifth day does not diminish its significance. Throughout the Genesis creation account, God consistently observes his work and pronounces it good. While not explicitly stated in this verse, the inherent goodness and purposefulness of God's creative activity on the fifth day are implied by the broader context of the narrative. In summary, "there was evening and there was morning, a fifth day," serves as a temporal marker in the Genesis creation narrative, indicating the completion of the fifth stage of God's creative work. It underscores the structured rhythm of creation, the progression of divine activity, and the culmination of God's work on that specific day. Continuation of creative activity, the phrase, "a fifth day," signifies the ongoing progression of God's creative activity. Each day of creation builds upon the preceding one, introducing new elements and forms of life into the world. On the fifth day, God's focus shifts to the creation of specific living creatures, further enriching the diversity and complexity of the natural world. This continuation underscores the unfolding of God's divine plan and the deliberate sequence of events leading to the completion of creation. Formation of aquatic and avian life, Genesis 1 verse 23 marks the formation of aquatic creatures and birds, which are specially designed to inhabit the waters and the skies, respectively. God's creation of these distinct types of life forms highlights his intentionality in populating different ecological niches and habitats. Aquatic creatures and birds contribute to the balance and functionality of their respective environments, reflecting God's wisdom in designing diverse ecosystems. Adaptation and survival, the creation of aquatic creatures and birds on the fifth day underscores God's provision for their adaptation and survival in their respective habitats. Each species is equipped with unique anatomical features, behaviors, and physiological functions that enable it to thrive in its environment. God's design ensures the suitability of aquatic and avian life forms for their specific ecological roles, demonstrating his care and foresight in providing for their needs. Ecological interdependence, the formation of aquatic creatures and birds highlights the interconnectedness of life within ecosystems. Aquatic organisms and birds play vital roles in food webs, nutrient cycling, and ecosystem dynamics, contributing to the overall health and resilience of their habitats. God's creation of diverse life forms reflects his intricate design for ecological interdependence, emphasizing the importance of maintaining balanced and harmonious relationships within the natural world. Appreciation for God's creation, Genesis 1 verse 23 invites appreciation for the beauty, diversity, and complexity of God's creation. The formation of aquatic creatures and birds inspires awe and wonder at the richness of biodiversity and the intricacy of ecological systems. It prompts gratitude for God's wisdom and creativity displayed in the design of life forms adapted to various environments. Moreover, it underscores humanity's responsibility to steward and protect God's creation for the flourishing of all living beings. In summary, Genesis 1 verse 23 signifies the continuation of God's creative activity on the fifth day of creation, with the formation of aquatic creatures and birds. It underscores God's intentionality in populating different ecological niches, the adaptation and survival mechanisms inherent in His design, and the interconnectedness of life within ecosystems. This verse prompts appreciation for the beauty and diversity of God's creation and highlights humanity's role as stewards of the natural world.